I'm sure many of you have been to an automotive dealership and interacted with a service writer. But what's that occupation really like? I decided to do a deep dive on Reddit today. I'm going to share with you what some insiders think about that occupation. The first person said, "I genuinely enjoy being a service writer. It's a job with pretty good working conditions. You're at a climate-controlled desk, usually working with a computer or paperwork. And for the skills and experience required, it's pretty well paying. I worked as a mechanic for 10 years, spent thousands and thousands on tools and education, did lots of training, and even got involved in professional racing for a few years as a lead technician. I went to service writing and made more in my first year writing at an indie shop than I did after 10 as a pretty well-performing mechanic. And this was sitting at an air-conditioned desk, working 40 to 50-hour weeks, and I got to go home without needing a shower immediately. Yes, service writing isn't fun, but compared to jobs that pay half of what it does, it's pretty cush." The next person said, "I cried every morning on my way to the dealership." That's truly sad. Another person said, "Oh my God, every day I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. Customers waiting. Everybody wants a rental. Do you know what's going on with it yet? Ah!" Another person said, "I just called in sick 2 days before a 3-day weekend because I physically felt sick from anxiety. I'm going to put in my notice as soon as I find a new job. I've had 5 days off and I feel anxious about Monday still." Another person said, "You have good days and bad days. You cannot win them all. Some days you come home emotionally drained and exhausted. Other days don't impact you at all. I like a lot of my clients, most coworkers, and a good handful of techs, but it definitely doesn't help convince you the job is worth it on the really bad days." My friends, I once had a job where I came home emotionally drained and exhausted, and that was not easy. The next person said, "I love my job as a service advisor because it plays to all my strengths. I'm meticulous and organized, which helps me keep everything running smoothly. I'm also passionate about providing focused, consistent customer service and explaining things in a way that's easy to understand. Building trust and having excellent communication skills are key, and I excel in these areas. Plus, I get to be part of solving problems every day, which keeps things exciting and varied. I've been told I'll burn out, but I don't see that happening. I'm in my 3rd year advising. Even though the shop has its struggles, such as not being able to find a shop foreman that fits, they've had 3 in the last year, and the current service manager has a hero complex and loves putting out fires instead of stopping them from starting in the first place. I work for a high-volume dealership with a very loyal and maintenance-focused brand. The schedule is awesome. The advisor team has several lifers, and we are all mature, considerate teammates." Well, that sounds really good. The next person said, "I love what I do. I am a car person, so helping people keeping their cars running and being able to teach them brings me joy. Sure, not everything goes smoothly all the time, but you have to remember, some days you're the bug, and some days you're the windshield. I've also been doing this for 12 years, so I've seen a lot of stuff. This has not stopped me from enjoying it and being a top performer. This job is honestly not for everybody." The next person said, "This is the best job ever. I like most of the customers and love some of them. Obviously, there are bad days, but that happens at any job. The pay is great, and I enjoy helping people." Another person said, "I've been doing it for approximately 12 years, and honestly, I enjoy my job. I came from a retail customer service background, and making the switch to automotive was a huge step to improving and stabilizing my family's finances. After all this time, I still learn something new almost every day, and I'm fortunate enough to work with good people. I will admit, I do hate some of them with a passion, but most are decent, and there are some who I am genuinely happy to see." The next individual said, "I just had my 6-year anniversary in July. I love the job overall. Of course, there are certain aspects I don't like, but I don't see myself doing anything else anywhere else. We've got a pretty solid crew and a very team-oriented atmosphere, unlike anywhere else I've ever experienced. Oh yeah, I just brought my wife on as an advisor about 6 months ago, and she's of the same mindset. She went from being a stay-at-home mom for over 18 years to a top advisor in that time. The next individual said, "Probably like most people here, I enjoy certain aspects of it. The problem is almost no shop has truly competent technicians, and that's what makes the job the hardest for me. As a former technician, I know when the guys are going down the wrong path, and sometimes I can alter that or steer them in the right direction. But ultimately, they are the ones doing the work, so I try not to get too involved unless I really see a blatant mess up. As far as the interaction with customers, I like that. I also enjoy selling. The comebacks and the work that can't be completed on time, well, that bothers me. No job is perfect, and I think this is a pretty good one." Another person said, 10 years in, and not once did I enjoy it. It was truly an abusive relationship." Another person said, "I enjoyed it for a while. It eventually became too physically and emotionally draining for me. The money wasn't good. Thankfully, our dealership got bought out, and they let all the top earners go. I am much happier now outside the automotive industry." This next person said, "The only part I hate is the hours. 7 to 6, and a couple Saturdays on top of that. Every job has parts that are stressful, so no big deal there, but not all of them keep you running nonstop 55 to 65 hours a week." My friends, I'm sure that's true. I'm sure some of these folks are on their feet a lot. This next individual said, "I've worked sales, retail, and trades. I enjoy service advising more than any other job I've had. I'm almost never bored. It's constant problem solving, and it's also the only thing I've ever been good at." This next individual said, "I love it. I go to high school career days to recruit our next generation of techs and advisors. You can make 6 figures with just a high school education." This next individual said, "I've worked 10 years advising BMW and Mercedes-Benz. All things considered, I like advising because it's a job where my background and strengths as an employee and a person make me successful. I've had to work on not taking things personally and not taking on other people's failings. It doesn't mean there aren't things that are annoying or frustrating about the job. Far from it. But I don't have a soul-crushing sense of what's my purpose, why am I stuck here. Every job has its high and low points, and I have accepted and I can manage the low points of this job. I am fortunate to work with a good team of people currently. I'd say your store and structure have a lot to do with it." This next individual said, "Yes, for the most part I like the job. I have pretty good loyal customers, but anyone can bomb you and the dealership on a survey over the smallest of things, which is aggravating. But I love it 90% of the time." Well, my friends, I found these comments to be really, really interesting. It seems as though there are some really good points about being a service advisor, and then there are some downsides. But I'm sure that's the case with a lot of occupations. I'm curious if you're a service advisor. If you are, tell us what it's really like in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.